Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor to stand up here today and have the privileged task of being the Master of Ceremony. My name is Joshua Speakman. We're going to hear from some great speakers today. Our theme this evening is celebrating the community. From weddings in our community to celebrities impacting our communities and even the fast-paced expanding internet. Our speakers are very informative, and have years of experience. So sit back and relax and take in as much of the information as you possibly can. And now for our first speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to introduce Maria Malmore. She is a 20-year-old university student from Spain who is currently studying in Missouri at Southeast Missouri State University. Her major in childhood and elementary education has led her to care about the right of education for all needy children. We have the pleasure she is joining us today to talk about the famous Colombian singer Shakira. Famous song, Hips Don't Lie, right? Whose effort and dedication have helped the poor children community to achieve the goal of free and quality education for all children around the world. Without further ado, prepare yourselves for Ms. Maria.
Well, thank you all so much for coming here today. As you know, I'm going to talk about Shakira. Is the singer, pop singer, songwriter, dancer, record producer, choreographer, model, and entrepreneur. She has won different prizes. One of them is 2 Grammys, 7 Latin Awards, 12 Billboard Latin Music Awards, and has been nominated for Golden Golf Award. So she is quite famous, and I'm going to talk about how she's contributed to the community. Outside her music career, she has created Pies Descalzos. It's an organization that in English is called Barefoot. She is in this work to help children, in addition to singing, in her native Colombia. She's here with the aim of giving all the needed children quality education. So she also created the Alas Foundation to help early childhood children and contributes also to UNICEF. I'm going to talk about a little bit to you all about Pies Descalzos, or Barefoot. It's a Colombian non-profit organization founded during the 90s. So she founded when she was only 18 years old. She came with this idea when she was just 8 years old, when her parents did not have enough money to live. So they have little difficulties in their family, and she came with an idea. As she was continuing the same school, she received the same quality education, but she was looking around the children that did not have the same opportunities as her. So she learned how to work hard to fight against those little inconveniences of life, and despite of her low and social economic status, she was able to fulfill her dreams. So she promised herself, when she was able to do that, to help the children that could not afford quality education. So she decided to collaborate on efforts to improve the education, nutrition and health for all the children around the world. To help the most vulnerable that are the children nowadays. So she created her foundation when she succeeded internationally, and she tried to provide quality education to all children. She created some schools that acted as community centers, so the children just not the ones that benefit from it. There were parents, families, and the communities too. In her organization, there are support programs for children and their families, and offers real solutions to increase the quality of life to those children. She is going to help the children to have an opportunity to exercise the right to education, the growth and development in the society. The other organization I'm going to talk about is the Alas Foundation. This is a non-profit organization also. It's created for Latin Americans, artists, business leaders, and intellectuals. The aim of this organization is to mobilize the people and to raise awareness about the early childhood education for those children that need to be treated accurately and to give them the care they need. So she thinks that the inequality that we have nowadays and the future is because of the children. So she created these two organizations to help them. As a conclusion, Shakira has contributed to our community, just not the children, but the families also, and she has given the opportunity to the poor community to improve their situation, and the children to have the education and the future they deserve, regardless of their low social economic status. And I have a quote which says that the best opportunity you can give is a great education, and Shakira made it. Thank you.
Maria. Maria.
What's on the wrong? Thank you, Maria. Our next speaker is Miss Kayla Musanti. Kayla will be giving a speech on her sister's wedding day, which will reveal the relationship in depth and the joy Kayla feels about her sister's decision on marrying the man of her dreams. She and her sister are 8 years apart, and although they have lived completely opposite lives, their personalities are extremely alike. Although their personalities have clashed at times, their hard-headedness was easily set aside in the times of need and sorrow. Her sister is very involved in the community and has done several successful things. So without further ado, please welcome Ms. Kayla.
Tonight, I would like to make a toast to my sister and her husband as they start the beginning of a new chapter together. My sister has been an influential part of not only my life, my family's, and the community's. By pushing people around her to achieve greatness, my sister has always been the best in others' lives. The full potential her family, friends, and bystanders can have. It is now our turn to celebrate her achievements in life, as she has always celebrated others. Her charity work, her heroicness, and her time served within the military is something I look up to. So tonight, our family, friends, and community have come together to celebrate my sister's next chapter in life. About 5 years ago, my neighborhood was devastated by an F4 tornado. My sister, with the along of others and the help of others, raised over $100,000 to help rebuild our community. So after that, she was definitely looked up upon by the rest of the community, and she really helped raise money for food, rebuilding homes, taking care of children, and having a roof over their heads. After that happened, about a few months later, her and my mom were at Target. They turned the corner and there was a man there laying on the ground. He had had a heart attack. My sister, with CPR training, started doing CPR on the man and ended up saving his life. After that, my sister had decided that she would like to go into the military to help, serve and protect citizens. She served 4 years in the military, 2 of them in Japan. After she moved home, that is when she met her husband, well, her soon-to-be husband, who was actually her high school sweetheart. And that is why we are here today. We are here to celebrate my sister and her in the community, within the community, and what she has done for everyone. My sister has greatly impacted us all. You can just tell by the familiar faces and unfamiliar faces here tonight. It is a blessing to be her sister, although she will tell you the opposite. Her humbleness and kind heart is what have brought us here tonight to finally celebrate her achievements and her quote-unquote best achievement, her marriage. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Miss Alexa Irons. She is a computer science student whose special interest in the social and societal influence that the internet has had on the world. Being born just early enough to know what the internet was like before the public service became widespread allows her to compare it to the giant worldwide community that it is today. And seeing and discovering the impact that the web community has had on day-to-day life has led her wanting to inspire others to see the same. Despite being open to the public for only 20 years, the community that makes up the web is certainly worthy of celebration in its unparalleled access to information and influence in the real world through mediums as commonplace as on Twitter and Facebook. So please welcome Ms. Alexa.
Everyone in this room is part of a community, an unprecedentedly large community. And it's not the community of Cape Girardeau, it's the community of the web. We are bound by one thing and one thing only, and that is the access to information. The internet connects us all from all the way across the world. We could be scrolling through Facebook and see one of our friends posting our interpretation of the latest meme, or maybe go online onto CNN and then find out that there's a brand new natural disaster somewhere. Before the internet became so widespread, and before Google became the primary source engine, also before people were able to respond to each other in real time without actually having to establish a connection beforehand in the real world, the library was the primary source of information. If someone told you that chocolate causes cancer, you'd have to go all the way to the library and spend hours total just finding out that chocolate doesn't actually cause cancer, or you would have to accept that as a possibility and then be wary of chocolate for the rest of your life until the internet came along. However, now we can just answer that with a search Google, or with a quick Google search, or maybe even ask on Yahoo and get some answer from there. And there are downsides to the internet, things such as what you may consider a stupid comment, or the abuse of the power of anonymity, and bad minds, of course. But overall, it fosters a thirst for knowledge. For example, if you wanted to learn, say, the atmospheric composition of Mars, you could go on Reddit and then ask science, what is the composition of Mars's atmosphere? And then you could get a fairly reliable answer. And then if I told you that Mars loses its atmospheric composition by about a cheeseburger a second, you could then Google and fact check me instead of having to go all the way to the library. So the internet community has helped power this thirst for information and thirst for knowledge by talking to each other and by using dissenting opinions to grow yourself instead of simply accepting anything that you see or stubbornly keeping your own opinion. Reviewing products has also generated a consumer-driven marketing system, a system that before instead catered to the largest common denominator rather than the individual. Now, if you don't like a product, you can go on Amazon and review it, say that it disappointed you in one way or another. The web community also allowed this to happen through encouraging the popularity of websites like Amazon and through participating in such things. This happens with net neutrality and internet service providers as well. About a year ago, there was a situation where net neutrality could have been taken down. But basically what it does is keeps the internet open, keeps it free, so internet service providers won't restrict it and make certain websites load slower than others. But because of the user outrage of this information, they were able to instead restore net neutrality. Another thing that the web community does is support information sharing and controversial opinions. Though controversial opinions may sound like a negative thing at first, it's actually a good thing to grow your worldview. You can communicate from across the world. Like I could go online right now on Reddit or Facebook and then talk to someone from South Africa you basically have a limitless amount of info, and it's an unprecedented thing that the internet allows, and that the community of the internet allows. So everyone should grasp this new resource and utilize it to its fullest potential, because it is a new thing, and you should always search for information and dissenting opinions to get closer to the truth. Thank you.
Thank you, Leslie. That was some great entertainment, was it not? And yes, that's a lot of information to take in. From Maria's information on Shakira and good deeds that she's done around the world, to Alexa's informative information and how the internet is a community, and to Kayla's accurate and informative information on her sister, the veteran. It's important to note that we celebrate the community in many ways. One thing that I can take away from our guests tonight, and I hope that you all do too, is the fact that we have the ability to celebrate our communities and the people that make up those communities. From from the different backgrounds to the life-changing events that take place, we all must acknowledge it and support it the best we can. I want to thank you on behalf of myself and the guest speakers here tonight, and I hope that you all enjoy the rest of your evening.